Now let's turn to Africa, to the chaos unfolding in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The DRC has lost control over one of its major cities, the city of Goma, in the country's east. A militant faction known as M23 entered Goma on Sunday night. They've been fighting for control of the city, and by the looks of it, they have succeeded. The M23 offensive has been quick and brutal. At least 100 people have been killed, over 1,000 are injured. Hospitals in the region are overflowing. People are coming in with both gunshot and shrapnel wounds, and worse.
The humanitarian situation in and around Goma remains extremely worrying. And again this morning, our colleagues in the Democratic Republic of the Congo report heavy small arms fire and mortar fire across the city and the presence of many dead bodies in the streets. We have reports of rapes committed by fighters, looting of property, including of a humanitarian warehouse, and humanitarian and health facilities being hit.
It's absolute carnage. These are images from a stadium in Goma city. You can see hundreds of people there dressed in military fatigues, some of them sporting the Congolese flag, but they aren't carrying any weapons. The M23 rebels had made an announcement on Monday. They told Congolese soldiers to gather at the stadium after surrendering their weapons. The visuals show that the Congolese army is on the back foot and at the mercy of the M23 militants. Reports say it is relatively quiet in Goma today. It seems that M23 has consolidated its control.
We are in Congo, but already we are under the control of the M23 rebels. And now it feels like we are in a dual nation. We are in Congo and at the same time in Rwanda. But we are wondering what will be the outcome of this situation, because our soldiers are no longer here, yet we are already invaded by M23 militants. This is the reality in this city.
Goma's collapse has led to widespread anger in the DRC. These were scenes from the capital, Kinshasa. Protesters took to the streets, they torched multiple embassies, they targeted the embassies of France, the US, Kenya and Uganda, and of course, the biggest villain in their eyes, Rwanda.
What Rwanda is doing is in collusion with France, Belgium, the United States of America, and others. Congolese people are tired. How many times do we have to die, and in how many days?
To understand this anger, to understand this entire conflict, we need some context. The DRC is the second largest country in Africa. It is rich in minerals, traditionally valuable ones like gold, but also minerals needed in modern technology like coltan. All of these things can be found in the DRC. It makes the country a coveted prize, especially for neighboring countries looking to exploit that wealth. That's where Rwanda comes in. Rwanda has fought a number of conflicts with the DRC. It has supported various insurgent groups over the years, and the M23 group is one of them. The group is now seen as a Rwandan proxy. M23 was formed in 2012. It was created by former insurgents who had joined the Congolese army. These rebels said that there was discrimination in the army, so they walked out and turned against the Congolese forces. The group has waged a low-intensity war against the Congolese government for over a decade. But things came to a head in 2023 when peace talks broke down, and since then M23 has been capturing land in the eastern DRC. Goma is their latest prize. But the rebels aren't done yet. Reports say they're marching south to another major town called Bukavu. Both Goma and Bukavu are border towns right across from Rwanda. Rwanda could support the rebels better once these border cities are secure. It could pave the way for a longer offensive. The world is putting pressure on Rwanda. They want President Paul Kagame to call the M23 rebels off. The new U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, spoke to Kagame directly. Washington wants Kagame to call for a ceasefire. The Rwandan president says that he looks forward to working for peace, but he did not exactly or explicitly commit to calling M23 off. And what about the DRC's leadership? What are they doing about all of this? President Felix Tshisekedi has declined an invite to talks. This was organized by other African nations, led by Kenya. But Tshisekedi declined without giving a reason. Meanwhile, the DRC's foreign minister is at the United Nations. She's calling for an intervention by the Security Council. She says the time for words is over. As you can see, the situation remains precarious. One wrong move could set off a wider conflict, and that's the last thing that the DRC needs. We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we've put together for you. Touted as the minimum defense from that video. India's neighbors were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout this week. Yes, Hindu Mandir in Rwanda-backed M23 measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
we were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion, 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.